Hello, in today's video I will strive to be the last one left. In order to achieve this, I will take on the role of Gnosia along with 5 others, and I will attempt to be the last Gnosia left on the ship. Now, in order to achieve this, I must eliminate my fellow Gnosia while successfully winning the round, having dealt with the bug in some manner. Now, if all those 3 conditions are hit, this challenge is won. Now, as for this current round, the 3 engineer claims makes it pretty tempting to add my name to the list for maximum chaos and potentially some manipulation later on, given that my goal is to be the last one left, and therefore I must also get my fellow Gnosia eliminated through code sleep. Being the engineer could prove valuable. Now, because there are 13 alive and 6 of them are still Gnosia, if we vote out a human here, the Gnosia will win and I will lose the challenge. So I will strive to target one of my fellow Gnosia. Instead, I'll claim the role of doctor and hope I am unimposed. And it looks like I am, so this means that the doctor is no longer around. Given that the real doctor is no longer around, we can safely assume that they are either Rakio, whom I've determined to be human, or Yuriko, who was eliminated during the night and therefore must have been human. Actually, this guarantees that 6 Gnosia are among us. I'm speaking from a neutral perspective where we do not already know that, because Yuriko is confirmed human and Rakio is confirmed human. Either A, they are the doctor and they are human, or B, I'm the doctor and I'm saying that they're human. I'd like to point out here that I've chosen Otome to target, and I doubted her in the meeting, and Comet butchers my argument, mentioning that they are fishy, that they smell, and that is clearly not what I was aiming for. And somewhat amazingly, all the Gnosia, besides me of course, are coordinated on voting out Chippy. Now this means that no matter what, we do lose the challenge, because either the bug, which is Shikamichi here, takes us all out, or I am clearly not the last one left. It is kind of a shame too, considering we froze the doctor day 1 and I claimed the doctor unopposed. Now, similar to the last round, we get 3 engineer claims. Again, as you'll notice, I'm not among them. Okay, and I do vote Remnant here, who is human, so pretty much no matter what, we'll have to vote out a Gnosia the next time around. Now, Comet and Rocky are both going to say that Jonas is not Gnosia, but Kukushka is going to say that Yuriko is a Gnosia, so I am inclined to believe that Kukushka is the real engineer, given that were she a fake, she'd probably want to stay safe and, at least on the first result, claim someone innocuous is human rather than accuse someone of being a Gnosia right off the bat. Given my goal this game, it might be wise to eliminate Stella, because they are paired with Chippy. It makes it harder to get Chippy out. Also, I do not appreciate SQ going after Comet here, so I will defend them. I wasn't really able to get the discussion to focus in on one particular person, so of course we end up losing here. Now, the Gnosia did win, so we got the bug out. Chippy says that he tossed everyone in the hangar and did so in a nice way. He doesn't like violence. I find that funny because, by my count, there are six survivors, human survivors. One of them is an AC follower, so in theory, we ignore them. Either way, Chippy makes it sound as if he's throwing 5 humans who most likely would resist being thrown into some hangar all by himself. Now, of course, that wouldn't make sense because that would open up questions about why the Gnosia needs a majority to take over the ship. It's reasonable then to assume that the other 4 Gnosia, besides me, of course, because I clearly was not involved, managed that feat, and the AC follower, I suppose, was just hanging out. Now, that also seems unlikely because the other 4 Gnosia besides myself and Chippy were Gina, Yuriko, SQ, and Shaming. And besides Gina, I would say that the other 3 would resort to violence, most likely. Now, this certain round, given my ulterior motive, I'm not too concerned with determining who is the real doctor and who isn't, or the real engineer and who are the fakes. Of course, to no surprise, it is the day 2 vote and we must vote out a Gnosia, and it looks like we will be unsuccessful in that feat. Okay, now let's just take a moment to imagine the process of Chippy taking 5 humans over to the hangar, and then realize that one of them, SQ, will just explode and destroy the universe. As you can tell, this challenge is not going very well. It is certainly more difficult with 6 Gnosia because I have less time to start picking my fellow Gnosia off. If I was the only Gnosia, clearly that would make things a lot easier. All I'd have to do was win. I wouldn't have to worry about anyone else. Here, though, I do have to worry, and I think it's best to go after a Gnosia immediately, and so I will. Now, having went after Otome, I've received a muddled result. They aren't too terribly suspected, while not too terribly trusted. So I'm not too confident we'll get them out. Comet, who agreed with me that Otome was bad news, didn't even vote for them. They voted out SQ. And we know that SQ is not Gnosia, so again, we have this day to vote out a Gnosia. And given that we failed to eliminate anyone last night, that is a welcome sign. However, it still means that we're running out of time to eliminate other Gnosia. Now, because there are only 5 total this time around, we do have more runway. Now, the 2 options that are most appealing would be to either attack the bug and fail, or be blocked by the Guardian Angel. We were not, because we attacked Setsu and they were, in fact, eliminated, and Comet did not investigate them. Now I think it's as good a time as any to claim the role of Doctor, and I am not unopposed. There are 2 other claims. That is fine. It was expected, given that had we eliminated the Doctor so early, once again, that would prove unlikely, all things considered. Now, with Stella sent to Coldsley, we are down to the final 11. This means that if we successfully eliminate someone this night, we lose the challenge. Now, this is somewhat useful information. We know that Remnin is not the real Doctor, and Kukushka, therefore, is most likely the real Doctor. then we can also say that Kakusha is not the bug, and Remnin could be. Remnin could also be the AC follower. So instead of taking that chance, I will attack Comet and hope that they get protected. They did not. And the universe was destroyed. So not only did I lose the challenge, but we lost the universe.